welcome back to me talking about my version of the Marauders in podcast form without Emma again. Today we have two special guests. Guys, say hi.
Hello.
Hello, everyone.
Stop doing ASMR. Stop
Hi,
doing it. I don't
everyone.
want that to be a thing here
It's so
today.
funny, though.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So the first thing that I always have people do, like when they come on, is like I have y'all answer some questions, etc. And like introduce yourself. So how I'm gonna have y'all introduce yourselves is name, pronouns, and what your Hogwarts house is. If y'all know that, yeah, you guys know. Okay.
Who do
Anyway,
you think I am? I'm on a Marauders podcast. So what's Harry Potter?
Stop. But yeah. So which one of y'all wants to go first?
I think Jake should go.
I would love
Okay.
to go first.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Marauders. I'm Jake. My
Gosh.
pronouns are they, them, and I'm a Hufflepuff.
Yay.
Yay, woo!
Hello. I'm Lauren. My pronouns are she, her, and my Hogwarts house is Slytherin.
Yes.
Hey,
We got the
Slytherin.
vibes. But don't worry, she's a good Slytherin.
No, she's not.
Okay, so usually I like post something on my Instagram and I'm like, yo, like some random questions or something that anybody has. I definitely 1,000% forgot to do that today.
So we don't get questions?
So you guys,
I was so excited for
I'm
that.
trying to, I just realized this like literally just now. So.
So are you posting right now?
No, I'm not posting right now. My phone is still dead.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Do we want to just, I feel like we should go over like, because usually people want to know like how long we've known each other and stuff
Okay.
like that, like how we met. So Lauren, we'll start off with us. We met in 7th grade chorus class
See.
when I was at the peak of my
Existence, really, probably.
my
Her
interesting
homeschool life.
my homeschool phase, my Hamilton phase,
My I got
my-
a
Oh.
cut phase.
my I got a pixie cut phase. Yeah.
I would have loved to know you then.
It
That
was
great
it was such
time.
a rough time to just even be aware of me. But yeah, Lauren was nice to me, which a lot of people weren't. So I
bad
appreciate that.
choice.
Stop.
Sorry.
No, but Lauren's chill because she was always nice to me, even through that situation. I don't think I would have been nice to me.
I wouldn't have.
No,
Yeah, I know you
Elizabeth,
wouldn't have.
Suck.
I know, I'm the worst. But no, I don't have like any memories of like us meeting or anything like that. Do you?
No, not really. I feel like we came into you got introduced to our class. You came and sat next to me, and then we chatted.
I forgot that we sat next to each other.
Yes, we sat because you were in
Because I was an alto back then.
Oh,
Because I
boy.
was so cool.
Yeah,
I live a soprano life now. I'm sorry.
yeah
I've
me
been
too.
living
I
the
am
alto-
also a
Oh,
soprano.
okay,
I've
okay.
been living the alto life since grade 6.
Nice. But yeah, so that was fun. And then Jake, how long have we known each other? Freshman year?
Did we meet freshman year? No, we did meet
Yes,
freshman year because we
we
met
were
in Wizard of Oz.
Yes, we were in Wizard of Oz together.
We were in Wizard
A fun
of Oz.
time. I do have a vivid memory of the first time you spoke to me, and I'm actually curious if you remember this at
Okay.
all. Okay.
There's a very good chance
Uh-oh.
I don't.
I know.
Uh-oh.
I'm
Okay.
so sure about this. Like, you had never spoken to me before. It's like a couple weeks in.
Oh God! Wait, no, this was freshman year. I don't want to know.
This is
I don't wanna know.
scaring me.
And you come up to me and you're very nice. You're like, hey, how's it going? How's everything like doing and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And I'm like,
hmm
I've never spoken to this man, but like, okay.
I
hi,
asked
how
you
are
if you were
doing?
bi, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
I remember this. There was a reason I did.
But I remember what happened. You come up to me. You're like,
Mhm.
are you into girls? And I was like,
I don't think I phrased it like that. But
you
okay.
said, no, you said, okay. You said, okay, so like, what's your deal? You said that. You said,
Did
"What is
I?
your deal?"
Did I?
And I was like, what is happening here? And you were like, are you straight?
Oh my
Are you
God.
gay? Like, what's up? And I was like, I'm straight. And you were like, oh, that's unfortunate. And then you got up and you left immediately
That's
after
funny.
that.
Yeah, I did.
Just hilarious.
That's
especially
really
looking
funny.
back.
That's really funny. I'm sorry. Can I retry? Hi.
Hi.
Nice to meet
Oh,
you.
nice to meet you too.
My name's Jake.
My name's Elizabeth.
You look.
That's
dumb.
all it had to be. That's
Okay,
all it
cool.
had to be.
Cool.
Oh my God.
Guys, quick advice: if you're ever trying to introduce yourself to someone, don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't,
no.
don't,
No,
just don't.
Don't do it like that.
That was
Be
so
normal.
funny. It was so good though. And I That was all I associated you with for like a full year.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Good. It's all good. Don't worry about it. I don't know. Is there anything else we want to talk about? Anything else you feel that they should know? Anything you want to share about yourself?
I'm really cool. I swear.
Yeah. Jake's really cool.
Okay.
That's also your fact?
I mean, I got you guys. I got you
Lauren's
guys.
fact is that Jake is cool.
No, my fact is that I'm adopted.
You say this all the time.
I'm just letting the people know.
Wait, I'm epileptic. These
Oh
are the
my
things that
gosh,
we only
yes.
talk about.
And I run a Marauders account. It might
Our
be.
3 facts.
Wow,
about-
this is crazy. This is absolutely bonkers.
Oh
Absolutely
my gosh,
wild.
guys, we're like the 3 misfits, like Harry, Ron, and Hermione.
Stop. Okay, put your hands in the middle. Oh my gosh. Okay, I don't know what is happening here. But yeah, if we want to move into the stuff, we can.
Elizabeth, you're the host.
Yeah.
Well, I'm here for you. You know, I'm here for the people.
This is therapy? What? Stop it.
I'm gonna say we're gonna start.
Fine.
Cool.
Start.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So let's jump into this situation. Are
Oh my
we
gosh,
ready?
Harry dies?
Where did that come
I
from?
was trying to like pretend that I was
didn't know.
reading it and like
okay.
spoiling something.
Oh, okay.
Except I briefly
Harry-
forgot that this
so-
isn't about
yeah,
Harry.
so Harry is not born yet.
Okay, hold on.
Harry's not even like close to being in existence at this
Yeah,
point. Okay.
I'm a little bit slow sometimes.
Okay, so
Lily die?
So we're jumping in. Now, for you guys, you don't have any background on like anything that's going on at this moment in time. I'm trying to think of like what you need to know before we start this. And I think all you need to know is that Lily and Remus,
Mhm.
they're friends,
Mhm.
but it's a secret.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
a secret?
It's a secret friendship
Oh my God,
because
secret. Oh my God.
Lily is friends with Snape, kind of. I'll get
Yes.
into that in a second. And then Remus is friends with the Marauders, and
Mhm.
they hate each other. So like,
No likey-likey.
no likey, but like Lily and Remus are chill because they're prefects
Mm.
together, so they kind of got to know each other better, and they're like,
Remus is a prefect?
maybe you're cool. Yes, Remus is a prefect.
What year
because-
is this?
You're 5,
How many years are there?
7.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, so like those are the vibes right now. So there's that dynamic. But then Lily was like also friends with like Julie, and then Julie started dating Peter, who's a Marauder.
I remember
There's
that.
a lot of
Mhm.
stuff going on. There's
Little
a lot of
rat man.
drama. So Lily has kind of like removed herself from basically all of her friendships except for Mary. Mary, we
I
love our
watched
queen.
an episode.
He watched one episode.
Yeah.
Better than
I didn't-
Lauren.
Hey.
I don't like your girlfriend.
No.
Wait, we're gonna get copyright strict.
Okay. Yeah, so that's, I think those are the only vibes that you need to know. And also we hate Snape. That's a non-negotiable. Sorry, we also don't like most Slytherins,
It's okay.
but you're okay, I promise. Okay. All right. So we start scene 1. A beautiful day. I don't know. They're in the Great Hall, they're vibing. Lily and Mary are talking to each other, having a good time. Everything is great. And then suddenly there's a massive explosion across the Great Hall at the Slytherin table.
A massive explosion across the Great Hall at the Slytherin table.
Not again.
drama.
No, but they look over and Snape is like at the center of it, and they're not sure what's happening, but there's like ashes everywhere. Nobody got like seriously injured, but you know, it's like something clearly happened here.
Dignity was wounded.
Yes, and Snape is like cursing his mind out. I don't know. He's not having a good time. And then Lily looks over and sees James and Sirius, and they are like laughing their heads off. And she's like, something happened here. You know?
Something happened.
Something happened
Mhm.
here. But McGonagall, she's not wasting anybody's time. She's at the teacher's table. She's like, this ain't happening. So she goes up. She already knows that Sirius and James, and probably by extension, both Peter and Remus, did this. So
Yeah.
she like pulls them off into the hallway. But James is like, it's not my fault. I promise. Like, that's not it. She's like, come on, dude. And so then Slughorn, who's the head of Slytherin House,
Mhm.
is like also going over, and he's like getting Snape all together, and Snape is just like, it's all James Potter's fault and everything like that. And Mary is sitting there with Lily, and she's like, Lily, for the love of all that is good, you're gonna stay here and you're not gonna go follow them and figure out what happened. She's like, I'm gonna go follow them and figure out what happened.
As she should.
She's like, bitch, please.
She's like, serious.
Bitch.
She's like, oh
As
my gosh.
she should.
Yes, she's like, I think I said, for the love of all that's good, just stay here, bestie. And she said, I'm not staying here, bestie. But anyway, so Lily goes and she follows them. And McGonagall is like, okay, so did you or did you not cast this spell, James? And he's like, yeah, I did, but like only. And
Only a little bit.
and
Just a
she's
tad.
like, oh my gosh. And so Snape's like, he did it. He just admitted to it. It's his fault. And everything's like, what is happening? And Lily's like, okay, bestie, like what went down? And McGonagall's like, you're not supposed to be here. And she's like, well, I'm a prefect, and clearly Remus isn't doing anything to help, so I feel like somebody should be here. And anyway, and this says, and Remus is in the back, and he's like, facts, honestly. He's like, I'm not doing anything about this.
So when she said, I'm a prefect, did she say it like in a really like nasally voice?
I'm a prefect.
I'm a prefect, actually.
So she- Do it.
I do it.
No.
No.
Okay. Okay, but anyway, so it's just general chaos of like everybody blaming each other and like what is happening and why is Lily there and all this stuff. But then Slughorn is like, can somebody please just accurately explain to me what happened here? And James is like, I can.
I can.
I can
It's
do
me.
it. And so he's like, yeah, I can. So he's like, so yesterday we overheard Snivelus saying that word. They call him Snivelus. That is canon from the books. Jake thinks that's hilarious.
That's a really good nickname.
So he's like, we. Oh my gosh.
Dude, I laughed about a lemon for 20 minutes one time.
Okay. Oh my gosh. But anyway, so he's like, anyway, we overheard him saying that word. And they're like, what word? And then everybody is just like kind of, Lily is like, what word? They had clearly discussed the word earlier, like before she got there. And everybody just kind of looks at her and they're like, this is a little bit awkward because she's a muggle born. So James is like, the M word. And Lily's like, Snape would never say that. And then like everybody there is like, we're like Sirius and Peter and Remus are all like, no, but like we did hear him say it. And Minnie is like, Minnie is McGonagall. That's what I write because it's easier to write. And she's like, guys, just shut up. We need to like continue with the story here. That's not what's important. Just continue with the story. And so James is like, so we told him to never say it again. And he like wasn't too happy about that. So I told him if he did say it again, then something would happen to him. And then I cast a spell that was like, basically, if he says that word again, he's gonna like, there's gonna be an explosion there. And McGonagall is like, so you did cast the spell? And he's like, yes, I did. And I'm proud of it because he said that word and it's his fault and he should get in trouble for it.
Yeah, sure. I'm on board with that.
Yeah.
All the way.
Okay, yeah. But anyway, so Snape is like, but I never said it though, and everything like that. And Lily is like, he would never say that, guys. Trust me. I'm his friend. Like, I know this. And everybody there, honestly, even like McGonagall and Slughorn are like, okay, but like, we kind of know this man. And like, I don't know. Poor Lily, honestly. Yeah, poor Lily. So she's like, yeah, but she's like, he would never say that. James just like sent that curse from across the hall and like that's what happened, everything like that. And then she's like, but then Lily appeals to Slughorn, who she's on really good terms with, and she's like, Professor Slughorn, Snape would never say that. Trust me. Like, I know. And then James over here is like, okay, I thought you guys like weren't even really on good terms right now. Like, I thought you kind of weren't speaking to him. Like, what is happening here? And she's like, we're not good friends, but I still know that he would never say that. And it's just like, he really did though.
Girl, he kind of did.
I know, he really did. And she's like, right? Like, you would never say that. And he's like,
lesson learned, kids. Your friends, sometimes they can be little poopy heads.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom from Jake. But Snape is like, he's like, yeah, what? I would never say that. And anyway, Snape gets like taken away to like the hospital wing because like was literally on fire for a brief moment of time, but don't worry about it.
Fine.
But the Marauders get in trouble, all of them, because at this point it's hard to just like determine which one of them was like the
Select
worst person.
all.
Yeah, it's easier. But so anyway, they run away, and then James is like, James is in love with Lily, and there's a lot with that situation. That's pretty accurate, honestly. But James is like, listen, Lily, there was no reason for you to be so rude to us. I was just trying to help you because I know more than you do. Basically, he's being obnoxious.
Lily, you really should stay in your place and let me do the work because I know better.
That was a really good James impression.
You're welcome.
So Lily is like, she really goes off at him at this point. She's like, why on earth would I ever want help from you? You're the worst person I've ever met in my life. And she's like, and why would I ever want help from you when you're the one who cursed my best friend? He's like, but he's a terrible person. She's like, no, he's a good person. He's just had bad experiences, you know. Lily at this moment in
And
time,
that's why he can say a slur.
yeah, Lily is not in her prime. Nobody is in their prime at this moment in time.
I mean, to be fair, they
He's
are
had
high
a rough past, guys. Calm down.
Wait, at this
Leave
point,
him alone.
would they be like? They would be like sophomores.
They're like 15. Yeah, 15-year-olds.
Cancel
I don't
them, all of them.
Let's cancel 15-year-olds. Anyway, after this, Lily like goes to Mary and she's like ranting to her about everything. She's like, literally, what even just happened? I can't believe James, like he's the worst person I've ever seen in my life. And Mary's like, okay, literally, but you're friends with Snape though. You know, that's Mary's whole vibe. She's like really like, anyway, she's like, I don't like them. I think that they're high-key bullies as well, but like, is one better than the other? You know, it's that kind of thing.
Lesser of two evils.
Yeah,
except-
and so she's like, well, if I'm being honest, like once Lily is like finished like saying her opinion and everything, and she's like, well, what do you think? And Mary's like, well, if I'm being honest, I've heard from other people that he has indeed said that word several times. And Lily's like, yeah, but that's like a rumor that, you know, like James probably started. And Mary's like, that seems like a lot of work for like,
yeah,
not
James,
really
James is
any
usually
payoff.
pretty direct. He's not the
Yeah.
rumors kind of guy.
She's
He's
like-
the zappy zap
he's
guy.
the
I'm
let's
just gonna
put
throw
a
it out
curse
there.
on him. hmm
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the kind of person that he is. So she's like, I don't really feel like that's the vibe, but she's like, but you know that, you know, that Snape's friends say it, you know, like Avery and Mulciber, and like Lily's like, well, I hate those people as much as you do, but Snape is not those people. And she's like, oh my gosh, Lily.
But he kind of is.
He kind of is. And she's like, okay, but like, I don't even think that it's okay that he's like hanging out with them. And Lily's like, I know, like, they're not great, but like, I can't imagine that Snape would ever say anything like that. You know, he was like the person when she was a kid, this is canon, who was like, when she asked like if there's a difference from like being born into a wizarding family versus being born into a muggle family, if there's any difference, and he told her no. And so she's like, that he's like, great, like I don't know, he would never make
Because as we all know, one childhood experience is entirely indicative of a person's character.
Yeah, that makes sense,
Yeah,
right?
okay.
But I said, and Mary is like, ... okay. Mary is just like, at this point in everybody's life, they're just like, Lily, they all know that she's gonna figure it out at one point, and they're just like, oh, okay,
And it's gonna be rough.
okay, yeah. So that's that, and so she's like, okay, but I definitely think that she's like, I didn't like what the Marauders did. It wasn't the answer. They're getting way too out of hand with like these straight up violent pranks. Like that man tried to like literally
Go.
explode Snape.
Yeah, but it was a little explosion.
It was a little
Like a little
explosion.
one.
You know, it was fine. And yeah, but anyway, Lily's like, yeah, I like mostly I want to teach them a lesson. And Mary is like, we should do exactly what they do.
Wait, Mary, no.
No, because
Mary, you're supposed
she
to be the
doesn't
voice
like
of
them
reason.
either. Okay, they're not going to do anything insane. But yeah, so Lily and Mary start planning just something to get back at them, because they do high key terrorize the entire school.
Plotting and
Like a
scheming.
lot. So they're like, we're never going to do anything remotely as bad as what they did, but like Lily is incredibly good at magic as well. So she's like, I just want to annoy them for like a solid week.
Put some
and
toilet
just see
paper
what
on
happens.
their shoes.
Basically. So they start doing that. Next scene. So now Lily's with Remus. I don't like that you guys can high five over my head. I don't like it.
We can
Let's
high
hold
five.
hands.
If you're not watching on YouTube, you need to be. That's all I'm saying.
If you're not watching on YouTube, do it.
Do it. Are you just gonna stay like this? Now Lily's with Remus. They're like going throughout their regular like prefect rounds and like going around the castle and making sure that people aren't out after nighttime. Anyway, regular stuff.
Being some narcs.
Yeah,
Some dinguses.
that's what. Yep. Mm-hmm. They're
Come on,
the narcs.
Remus, let me have some fun.
Stop.
Gosh, Lily.
That made me so uncomfortable.
I'm a dingus.
Stop, guys. What is happening? Anyway,
Having me on
So-
was a bad choice on your part.
a little bit, but it's fine. No, but anyway, so she's like, so are we gonna talk about like how everything that just happened? Like, are we gonna talk about that? Because they usually kind of don't. They just kind of avoid talking about their friends and would rather just talk about their common interests because like their friend groups
Yeah.
hate each other type of thing. And he just says, he's like, all I'm gonna say is this. He's like, I think what they did is wrong, but I'm definitely also pretty sure that I did hear Snape say the word. So that's all I'm gonna say. And in her mind, she's like, okay, so we are still gonna prank Remus. That was like kind of iffy at this moment, but now we're gonna prank Remus too. No, but they kind of avoid talking about that situation in general because they start talking about Sirius. And in the last episode,
Snivellus.
Snivellus. He is not Snivellus. Those are different people. No, but they talk about Sirius because this is a plot twist because this is in an episode that hasn't come out yet. But Lily found out that Remus likes Sirius, and like that was like the whole.
The tea.
The tea.
Oh,
What?
You guys, that was a fun episode. I recorded that
Who
one
could
with
have
Nicole.
Who could have predicted this?
I had
No.
absolutely no clue.
I know.
Jeez.
This is so crazy.
This is like this is like the one
I'm
thing that both of
speechless.
you know
Oh my
about
God.
this fandom. This is the only thing y'all know about the whole fandom is this
First of all,
relationship.
I have been on Tumblr. I know at least a little bit more.
What
Ever
else
since
do you
I
know?
was-
Ask me a question.
James's middle name.
Buttface.
I've had like Marauders TikToks come up on my
Yeah,
feed.
because of me.
Because of you.
Because of me.
I followed your TikTok
side note.
2 hours ago.
Side note. I am L. So if you
Yes.
saw that TikTok.
Yes, that was from a couple
I'm
months
L.
ago. But yes, very clearly because you're the same person.
I mean, yeah, just if people didn't know.
Yes.
You
In
wanna get
that
as
one-
much clout
mhm,
as you
yeah,
can.
Exactly,
trying to get
of
clout. I mean, I'll
course.
tag both of you.
As you should.
Yeah. Anyway, what was it? Where was I at? Oh yeah, so they're talking about Sirius. They're talking about how Remus likes Sirius. And Remus is like so happy that he just has somebody to like gush to about this because nobody else knows. Like nobody.
Nobody?
Uh-oh.
Not a single soul at this moment
It's like
in
that
time.
song
You
from
can tell me,
Hamilton.
Remus.
Nobody needs to
know.
Anyway.
Anyway,
You guys
don't worry
thought
about it.
about that. But I thought about like the nobody.
Nobody. Okay. Anyway, so anyway. So Remus is just happy to talk about it with somebody. But it is becoming harder and harder to not talk about the fact that he is indeed a werewolf because she also doesn't know about that. And so he's like kind of debating on telling her, and he's like, okay, she already knows like a huge secret that nobody else knows, and a couple people know that I'm a werewolf. So it's like, should I tell her at this point? But he's like, okay, and he's like kind of weighing it out. He's like, okay, if she tells people, you know, that oh, I like guys, you know, like what's the worst that's gonna happen? He's like, no, some bad things could happen, but like if she tells people that I'm a werewolf, like everybody could get
Yeah.
arrested. I will be permanently shunned for like the rest of my
Yeah.
life, and like Dumbledore could get fired and all this stuff. So he's like, so we're gonna wait on telling her that I'm a werewolf.
We're gonna hold.
We're gonna
off.
hold off because he is also unregistered, so like he could also get arrested. There's a lot of
how-
things. So, but anyway, despite the fact that he's not telling her this, he does kind of manage to mention what happened at the last full moon because like they're all animagi, so they can go be with him during the full moon. And for the first time, they had their like a very small like let's go outside of the shack type of thing, which they're not supposed to do because you know. could turn more people into a werewolf, could possibly kill some small animals. Things could happen there. But all they did was they just went into the tunnel, like in between there. So they're testing the waters here. But they're testing the tunnel.
They're dipping a toe.
they're dipping a little toe into this. But yeah, so he's like he didn't tell her about that, but you know, there was some kind of stuff going on there because basically like the wolf was like too scared to like go down into there because he was like, what the heck is this? Like, I don't want to do that. But then when Sirius went down there, like when the dog went down there, then like the wolf followed him. And so it's like in his mind, he's like, what is happening here? Is the wolf gonna out me? Like, is this what's gonna happen? He's just talking about it. He's like, I don't know what to do and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, this bullet point says it's honestly a good thing Lily is only half listening to this because he did almost give away that he's a werewolf like 50 times while talking to her about this.
As you do.
As you do.
Of course.
But yeah, so that
happens to me all the time.
Are you a werewolf?
Wait, hold on.
Wait.
Cut the cameras.
Pause for technical difficulties.
Okay, so now we're going to get into some fun little pranking things that Lily and Mary are doing. Now, are they the best pranksters in the world? No, but they do have some pretty clever magic. So anything that they do is like nearly impossible to reverse. So even if it's small and annoying, it's like, how do you get rid of this, you know? So what they do is they're like, you know what we should do? Is use this potion that Lily and Snape created when they were younger because, I don't know, they're interested in potions and like weird stuff like that. And there's Felix Felicis, which is liquid luck. So they basically made the opposite of that, which is just incredibly unlucky potion. So it's nothing like really bad would happen, but like everything that is you will just have terrible luck for an entire day. And so she's like, okay, so like what if we figure out how to get it so it's just like kind of in their cups when they magically get transported to them, like in the morning with their breakfast. And so then she's just like, let's just do that for a week. Let's just give them the worst possible luck for a week. Lily straight up brews this potion in her dorm, and her dorm mates are like, it's Lily. This is what she does. Like, she can just get away with literally anything because she was friends with Snape. So, like, she does some weird things sometimes. But anyway, so that starts the fun week of pranking. So, the first day, anti-luck potion happens. But Remus just happened to not eat breakfast that morning. Like, he just was studying or something. So luckily he didn't get it. But everybody else did. And they're like, that's fine. So James fails his transfiguration test. And transfiguration is his best subject. So he's like, what the heck is up with this? And then, like, they definitely, like, they're always kind of throwing, like, curses at, like, Snape in the hallway or whatever. But, like, this time they always get caught. And, like, Peter is usually their man who can just, like, talk them out of anything, and he can't do it and everything like that. And so they're just, like, crashing and burning and everything like that. But they very quickly realize what is happening. They're like, something happened. They're like, we're guessing. It's, like, some sort of anti-luck thing, but nobody really put a curse on us, like, not that we can tell or anything like that. So they're like, okay, but here's the thing. Remus appeared to be fine. So then they realized, okay, probably had something to do with breakfast. And then they were like, and Remus definitely cannot have this happen to him, because if Remus accidentally, like, shares a secret, I don't know, about him being a werewolf, some bad things might happen. Yeah. So they're, like, immediately, like, working on this, and they figure out by the end of the day, they're like, okay, it had to be from here. And so they're just like, we will only go directly and, like, make our food ourselves for a while. And we're just going to call that good, and it'll be whatever. But what they decide to do is they're, like, pretending. They're like, but we should keep it up and, like, try and figure out who's doing this to us. So we'll pretend that we're still having all this bad luck for a while and see what happens. And so that works for a little bit. They're so sure it's, like, a Slytherin guy. They're like, for sure that's something that they would do and everything like that. So they're trying to figure it out. And, you know, that goes well for a while until frickin' Remus is not thinking, and he tells Lily that he's like, oh yeah, we totally are, like, trying to be pranked right now, but, like, you know, we figured it out. So, like, now we stop doing that. We're just pretending to do this. And Lily's like, thank you so much. And she's like, oh, that's so crazy. But yeah, so then they decide to use the Marauders' very own spell that Remus taught Lily.
Okay.
Which
Jeez.
which is a handwriting changing spell. So they created it so that like when Remus was like out because he was like sick or whatever, that somebody else could do his work and then he could use a spell and then it's in his handwriting. So she just starts changing some of their essays. Like after they're turned in, she'll like go and take them and just change them. And so they're all getting bad grades and stuff. And they're all really confused by this because they thought that they were the only one that knew how to do the handwriting thing. And Remus still doesn't get it through his brain that she knows about it. And he's like, I don't know, man.
Remus, you dumb man.
He's so dumb.
Remus.
But
you
yeah.
Dingus.
Then this
Remus
is my favorite
dingus.
thing. So then she decides to go a little bit further because she's like, okay, we might get in trouble for like changing their work and everything like that. So they decide she's like, okay, that spell that James used so that like when something happened, a spell would go off. She's like, I'm going to use that against him. So she does it. So
Wait.
whenever, what?
She's doing that. Does that mean that she knows that he really did say?
No, but I that's not what I intended, but I don't know. I think it's just something that James has. Like they just all kind of have
Sure.
spells that like they've made up or something. I don't know.
Fan theory of the fan theory.
Yep.
Fanception.
Fanception.
Wow.
But anyway, so
Wow.
James is already pretty upset because he's like losing his good grades, which is like everything that, you know, that's like his thing, you know, he wants to be like the smartest but like look like he's not even trying. And so now he's like panicking and everything like that. But the other just wild thing that starts happening to him is that whenever he tries to like flirt with a girl, he just starts gagging.
No!
He's
so-
like,
that's
he's
so
like,
funny.
so like, what?
So what's the word?
There's no
It's-
like
there's no word. It's just an action.
maybe there is a word. Yeah, I feel like it's like, oh yeah. And then the other thing is like whenever he runs his hand through his hair, because like that's something that he does, it just like shocks him.
Hey,
Oh,
no.
Yeah, so that starts.
I'm
yeah,
fine. Ah.
yeah. I think maybe she did it to like one of his like go-to pickup lines or something like that. But anyway, something like that, and it's just
Did you
it's
fall
so
from? Ah!
yeah,
Poor
so
guy.
whenever he does that, that's happening. And then Sirius, on the other hand, he is like found himself completely unable to talk about music anymore. Like whenever he starts to talk about music, which Lily just finds personally annoying. Actually, I think Mary more finds this annoying. He just forgets what he's talking about. Like he gets
Poor
minor
Sirius.
amnesia and he like forgets what happened for the last 5
Oh,
minutes.
that's so funny.
And so they all have to tell him, like, you can't talk about music anymore, dude. We don't know what's happening, but you can't do that. And then,
Hey guys, I heard this really cool song.
where am I?
Who are you?
Yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah, and then
here?
Remus's one was Remus just likes to correct people sometimes. So he can't say actually anymore. He just can't say it. Like he nothing
Apple.
really happens to him, but it just frustrates him that he can't say it. anymore. He's like, in actuality, like, you know, it's just his is like the
in actuality.
yes, he's like this one is like not very, you know, big, but it just personally annoys
Yeah,
him,
yeah.
which is what she wanted. And then lastly, Lily just never put a charm on Peter, so he just thinks that there's one that's for him too. And he's like not saying anything. He's like tiptoeing around doing any action or anything like that. Like he's just paranoid for
Oh
this
my God.
whole week.
That's so funny.
Yeah,
hilarious.
so poor Peter.
Paranoid as ever.
Yeah, so yeah. So then finally there's like, I don't know. They also do like some minor like situations that might kind of get them in trouble. But the last time that this happened, like I don't know. They made him look like they were in the wrong place at the wrong time, basically, for something. Like something got smashed or something like that. Very minor. But finally Remus realizes when they're all getting in trouble again, he's like, what has this week been? He looks and he realizes that this is happening right next to a secret passageway that he told Lily about. And he's like, so that's how she got away. And oh
Lily.
my gosh, it's been Lily this whole time. I'm an
Jeez
idiot.
Louise.
But yeah, so he's like, but yeah, so like after their next little prefect meeting or whatever, he's like, oh, like Lily, how are you doing? And then he's like, yeah, I really like the whole like James prank that you did. I think it's really funny. And she's like, what? And he's like, yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like, you know, you could have done better, but like it was pretty good still. And she's like, how did you know it was me? And he's like, Lily, I figured it out. Like, it's you. And she's like, okay, facts, but I'm never going to get in trouble for it. And he's like, you might. And she's like, with all of the professors on my side, she's like, I'm a model prefect. I do all this stuff. Nothing is going to happen to me. So it doesn't even matter if you know. And he's like, okay. And she's like, and besides that, you'd have to tell your friends that you are friends with me. And he's like,
She's being so
That's
Lily.
shoot.
Lily.
And he's like, you know what? Okay.
Lily.
Honestly, I
Louise.
think he's a little impressed. He's like,
I
you
think
know
he's
what?
impressed, too.
Go
I agree. I'm just saying, Lily.
Yeah.
Lily, come on, girl.
Yeah, Lily, this is like the only time Lily does anything, but it's so good. But anyway, so now there's the whole grand finale of this prank thing. Because Lily and Mary, they're like, okay, we've done this for like a week, but like our whole point is that we don't want to turn into them. So we gotta wrap this up. But what they did was Lily and Mary snuck down to the potions room, and they just found all of the most annoying mixtures that they could realistically make look like the Marauders accidentally got all over themselves. And then they fill up these buckets and they put them, and they have floating charms, and they're up at the top of the ceiling, and they're gonna lure them down there, and they're just gonna dump all of it on them, and then that's it. And they're gonna tell them that it's them that have been doing it. So yeah, that's basically what happens to the Marauders. They go down there. I think what happened was they sent them a note that was like, if you want to figure out who's been doing this to you, like, here we are. And so that's what happens. And of course they get all that stuff all over them, and that's fun. But then Lily and Mary are there with like a muggle camera, and they're like, cha-ching, we got it, besties.
Caught in 4K.
Yeah, literally caught in 4K. So there's just like slime and everything disgusting all over them. And she's like, but Lily's like, see, even when I want to prank somebody, I don't make it terrible. I just make it incredibly annoying. And isn't that so much worse? And James is like, facts though. But he is, yeah. So then they just leave them in all of this goo and gunk and everything like that. And Remus is like, they're about to be so mad. But then he turns around and James is like, guys, did Lily just pull a prank on us? Guys, this is so exciting. I love it.
Oh my gosh, guys.
Guys, I think she has a crush on me.
Guys,
like,
guys,
not gonna lie.
Guys, Lily, she pulled a prank on me.
Oh my god. No, but not only did they immediately get caught, and none of them, they're all too proud to like admit that somebody else did this to them. So they're like, yeah, we did this to ourselves. So not only did they get
it was us.
I dumped the gunk on myself.
Yeah. So not only is that happening, but they also get in trouble, which was Lily's point, was she made it look like they were kind of trying to go down to like the Slytherins and stuff like that. So they got in trouble for that, and they had to clean up the entire room and everything like that. But the one that Lily intended the most, because it is the most mildly annoying, is that they just all vaguely smelled like something horrible for about 2 more weeks. No matter what they tried, no matter what they did, they were just
15 years old. That probably wasn't that much.
That's facts.
I really don't know why my mind went to this, but I really just thought you were gonna say they smelled like cheese.
Honestly,
they smelled like blue cheese for 2 weeks.
Like blue cheese for 2
honestly,
weeks.
there.
No, that would
we
suck.
changed
A
it.
little
That
bit
would
of
be
camembert.
sweet. Yeah, they just all smell.
Lauren, you just created
You just
canon.
created it. Good job.
You
That's
made
a thing
canon.
now. But yeah, so that's basically the end of it.
I've been trying to derail you this entire time.
Well, you didn't do it good enough.
I know. I halfway through, I was like, I should.
Taco moment.
Yeah, Matt really derailed any and all conversation.
Yeah, but he didn't do it intentionally.
That's true.
He was just like, guys.
And then
I can't wait to listen
and
to
he
the
just
first
said,
one.
The one with Matt?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's so funny.
"Oh, it's so good."
If you haven't seen that, cool viewer, you should go back 2 episodes, or back 1 episode?
back
2 episodes
back
by the
2
time this
episodes,
is out.
yeah.
Back 2 episodes by the time this is out. The one with Nicole, I'm sure that's fine. But the one with Matt and Caroline,
You did one with Nicole.
yeah,
How
yeah.
was that one?
it was so good. She was so great.
Was Emma on that one too, or is it
No,
just the two of
Emma's
you?
still out of town. That's why everybody's here.
Oh, so that's the
Boo.
only reason we're here? Just because you don't have
Yeah.
Emma. We're a second choice. We're really
Wow.
we're 4th and
Yes.
5th choice.
I was the 5th. You were the 4th because Elizabeth texted me, "Want to be on my
Oh, that's
podcast
true, that's
with
true.
Jake?"
my
I was
gosh.
like, so I'm number
Guys.
And I
5.
even talked to her about it before
You know what? I
Caroline,
should have been number
before
8.
Matt. We're extending this outro as long as possible.
Of
Guys, listen,
course.
I like Emma, okay? I think she's rad. She was also the very first person that I ever told about my version, so it like makes sense. But yeah, so I'm
it's friendship or whatever, but I'm so cool. I have cool hair and cool little mushroom earrings. Does Emma have cool little mushroom earrings?
so I feel like those are the vibes. Did y'all enjoy the episode?
I
Enjoy being
loved it.
here?
I thought it was really good, and I think it's really cool that you do this. I think it's really cool.
I
You're
think
so
it's
sweet.
It's very
awesome.
creative, and you're a very good storyteller.
I've always
sweet.
enjoyed
And- yeah.
joining your lives, and you're just like, look, Elle's here, but she has no clue what's happening.
Yeah, and just like you just stay there for like a couple questions, and then you're like, what is happening?
me
And then-
say-
Look,
yeah.
I'm gonna try to be getting in on more of these TikToks.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to actually learn less about it. I want to be completely clueless, like the
Okay.
but like the movie Clueless.
Okay.
My
what
favorite.
if you only know my canon?
Okay,
What if you just exclusively learn that?
this is canon.
This is now
I'm
canon.
I'm
is
perfectly fine with that.
canon.
Okay.
J.K.
okay.
Rowling sucks.
It's true. Somebody asked me who wrote because it's a joke because J.K. Rowling didn't write the
Didn't,
Harry
didn't
Potter.
Shakira? Is
Yeah.
that
So
canon?
but somebody asked me, they're like, who do you
Shakira.
think wrote the Harry Potter books? And I was like, me. What do you
You
mean?
wrote Harry Potter.
I wrote Harry
It was
Potter.
me.
It was me. I think I said me, bish.
Keep it.
Like, what do you mean? Anyway, but yeah, so should I sign off? Are we good?
I think that we should just spend the next like 20 minutes of them just like I should just talk, and they just have to.
Okay, if y'all want to give, actually, I did this with
No
Matt, and it was great. If you guys want to give like what you think happens next, go for it.
Oh,
Okay, I'll give you some time to
Oh.
think. So,
Okay.
so after this episode, what do you think is the next thing?
Okay. Here's what's not what I think. This is what is going to happen next.
It is.
This is going to become a fan favorite, and you're going to have to do it because that's what the fans want. All right. So here's what I'm thinking. Step 1.
Step 1.
Step 1.
Remus, he grows just like 2 inches. So he's like taller.
Yes.
He's a little bit cool. He
Mhm.
sort of hits puberty. He get the acne
Yes.
starts to go away, so he's just a
Yes.
little bit cooler. That sort of gives him the confidence boost,
Yes.
which is going to come in later. Sirius is just he's just sort of vibing, just sort of being his cool little radical self. He never really changes. Let's be real.
Yeah, let's be real.
And then James sort of he doesn't have this realization yet, but he's sort of like the arc starts of him having the realization of, hey, if I have a crush on Lily, maybe I should not be a dingus. He doesn't realize it yet.
Okay, he doesn't realize
It's going to
it.
take a
Good.
few more episodes.
Yeah, it takes a while for him to figure that out.
Oh, it will. And then Pettigrew, Mr. PP Pettigrew. He in the next episode he is going to pee his pants.
Yes.
Fans are gonna love that. Write it in. I don't care how you do it.
You know what? Here it is.
Yeah,
Here
I
it
made
is.
canon. All right. Lily.
Mhm.
I said her name 3 times.
Yes,
like
you did.
Bloody Mary.
Like Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice. Lily becomes no.
Lily becomes Beetlejuice.
The heck?
So much canon errors here. No, Lily just she's sort of like is starting to have the conflict in her head of maybe like
Mhm.
James.
Oh, already.
Oh.
Already.
Not anything substantial, not anything conscious.
But
just
like he's kind of cute though,
it's
right?
like maybe a little bit like maybe he's like starting to he's starting to get a little bit of a sharper jawline. Puberty's starting to hit.
Not the sharp
You're
jawline.
like puberty is hitting in 1 week.
No, it's just a little bit, just a touch, just a sprinkle of oregano. You know,
Little paprika there.
Okay,
exactly,
okay.
a little paprika.
So are those the vibes or
I just like a little bit,
okay,
just like a little bit,
okay.
just a little.
Anything else from this?
Anything
episode?
else? And
You said that Remus's confidence would come in later.
oh yeah, so Remus is starting to consider it. Like maybe you should talk to Siri.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit. Talk to
A
Siri.
little bit.
Maybe a little bit.
Mm.
Maybe talk to someone about it.
Okay.
Someone who's not Lily and not like gonna betray his trust.
Bam.
Freaking Lily.
She's not
And-
gonna betray his trust. She pranked him a little bit.
Mm.
She stopped him from saying actually for a week. I don't think that's betraying.
Yeah, that's betrayal.
Actually?
Actually,
Actually?
that is betrayal.
That is betrayal.
Thank you,
word.
Lauren.
Okay.
And
You're
the last
welcome.
bit, Snape says the slur again,
Okay.
and Lily
Mm.
Here's it.
is maybe Maybe she
Maybe.
hears it.
Maybe.
Okay.
But that's a
Okay.
lot of plot in one episode.
Okay. Okay.
I'm
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
at least one of those things is going to happen.
Okay.
You see-
One of those things will happen eventually.
What?
Okay. Anyway,
You're telling me
Lauren.
Lily
see-
and James get together confirmed?
Honestly, I agree with Jake. No, but I will say, what was I gonna say?
What-
I
what-
don't know what you were.
What do you,
gonna
what do you
say.
think's going to happen, Lauren?
Well, no, I agree like fully with you, and I.
Well, it is because
You
I'm
think
always
that
right.
Peter Pettigrew is going to be?
Yes, I fully agree
I
that.
saw you write it
I
down.
fully agree that Peter Pettigrew is going to pee his pants. It's
Oh,
you know what? No,
that's right.
it's not even my version. It's canon now.
Yeah, this is.
So
this
you
is,
know what?
and
It's canon.
and it's
now.
not a prank. He just,
It's not a prank.
He just
He
gets
just-
a little nervous.
You know, he's so paranoid all the dang time
He
that like
he didn't realize that Lily pranked him,
just
so
goes-
he's still paranoid.
Yes, he didn't know. And so he still thinks he's pranked.
I can't wait for the
that's
next
my
episode.
Theory. That's my theory.
That's a good theory.
So-
My word, y'all.
What?
Okay, I feel like that's a good place to end.
All right, in the comments, write about how you think Peter Pettigrew is going to pee his pants.
like write the situation. You
Yeah,
think it's gonna
write the
happen, and,
canon.
Like what's
Okay, go off. Go do that. I don't.
We're
I don't
getting
care.
we're getting you in the
We're-
comment section.
Yes.
We are boosting. Like this episode. Subscribe if you aren't already. What are you doing? Come
Yeah.
on now.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna finish it out. Okay.
Follow
Good.
all of us on TikTok
Yes,
or
yes.
Instagram, whatever you.
All of
prefer.
that will be linked.
All of it's gonna be
Anyway,
linked.
here we go. Thank you so much for watching. Big shout out to Himalia Black on TikTok for doing the cover art and for Ben Wilson for doing the music. We appreciate it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Bye.
Bye.
Offered this thing to him in order to let him go to school. So
Harry zapped Snivellus in that shrieking in the shrieking shack.
not zapping Snivellus. My stop.